What's going on, guys? Early in the morning, I'm talking 3:30 a.m., an article was posted to Insider Gaming by a very credible leaker known as Tom Henderson, stating that the Call of Duty Zombies original crew could be returning in Call of Duty 2025, along with a map with Tranzit-like elements. And before we go any further in this video, take everything in this with a grain of salt. You never know with this kind of information. Everything is subject to change very quickly. I mean, a couple months ago, it was leaked that 2025 was going to be the year of Outbreak returning. A couple weeks ago, it was revealed that we were going to get no Outbreak, and it was going to be focused heavily on round-based for a second year. So, in the leaking world, you never know with these types of things. Information changes quickly. So again, the leaker's name is Tom Henderson. He's a very credible leaker. He's posted a lot of accurate information over the years regarding not only Call of Duty, but other games as well. And he wrote this article titled, "Exclusive, Call of Duty Zombies original crew could be returning in 2025. Several sources have revealed that the Call of Duty Zombies original crew might be making the return in COD 2025. The news comes from several sources who were invited to play Call of Duty 2025 play tests and feedback sessions where it was revealed that the original crew for Zombies could make their return." This next sentence is a little bit questionable. I don't know how this gets messed up like this in this important of an article, but it says Dempsey, Tank, Takio, and Nikolai, again, no mention of Richtoff in there, they mentioned Dempsey twice, said to be featured as part of the feedback sessions, with one eagle-eyed Zombies fan stating that the versions of the characters were not Ultimus and that the characters looked older than Primis. So it sounds like, if this is true, a new version of the original characters might be returning. Not sure how they're going to write this into the story, but that's just the case. Again, they mentioned Dempsey twice here. I think it was the misprint because on the cover for the article, it shows the picture of the OG crew from Der Eisendrache. According to the same sources, the zombie storyline will revolve around a new enemy character who wants to absorb dark ether essence of the original 4 characters and bring back the old multiverse. Again, I'm going to be honest with you guys, if you told me this like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'd say this sounds like some fanfic, like there was no way that any of this was ever going to happen, but with the Chaos crew possibly coming back, or at least elements of the Chaos story and the Sentinel artifact being on Terminus and in the cutscene, anything's on the table. There's nothing you can really rule out for where they're taking the story. At this point, I don't really know where they're going with it. I'm very intrigued and I'm very excited about it, but again, there's really nothing you can rule out, especially with Chaos implements coming back. And at the end of Liberty Falls, we see Dr. Panos literally take our Dark Ether essence, restore himself, and then leave the Dark Ether. Now again, it says a new enemy character who wants to absorb the Dark Ether essence of the original 4 characters and bring back the old multiverse. I mean, if that doesn't sound like Dr. Monty, I don't know what does. And again, I'm on the fence with this, man, because like I, for the longest time, felt like Black Ops 4's ending was rushed, whether it was due to budget cuts, whether it was due to them just not really knowing what to do. I just feel like Black Ops 4 didn't end the way that Treyarch wanted to, and I know a lot of the fans were happy with the way things ended, some of them weren't. I don't really have like a strong opinion one way or another, but I don't really care if they bring these characters back. Anyways, especially with the way that they were going in Black Ops 4 and it started, in Blood of the Dead and Classified, there was so much mention of, oh, we're going to go to the house and kill Dr. Monty, and we have to defeat Dr. Monty. You need to keep your soul so you can defeat Dr. Monty. And, obviously with budget cuts, things changed, and that's what it seemed like back in the day. But even in Alpha Omega, it got late into the game cycle where they were still talking about this. At the end of the Alpha Omega cutscene, Samantha was literally like, "Oh, we're going to the house, Eddie, and we're going to kill Dr. Monty." Like, it was that late into the game, and it just seems like either due to budget cuts, they couldn't get like a boss fight thrown together or something. I don't know what it was, but it seems like it just never happened. And I guess this could be their way of kind of making right on that. If that's what the original plan was and it had to be scrapped due to those budget cuts, they're going to kind of, work their way back into the story here with all those characters to kind of give them the ending that they may have originally had and intended. Now you could be like, well, we saw both Primis and Ultimus die at the end of Togder Toten, so how does this even work from a narrative standpoint? I don't have all the answers. I'm not that guy. I have some thoughts and ideas, and I'll give them to you here, but I'm not behind the scenes at Treyarch pulling the shit out of my ass, right? Like, I'm just a guy that is very passionate about the mode. But my best guess is that at the end of Togder Toten, nothing was technically destroyed. I mean, other than the Shadow Man. He was inside the summoning key. The Shadow Man should technically be dead. But everything else really wasn't destroyed. It was just banished to the Dark Ether. And Nikolai states this multiple times, not only through Togder Toten, but also at the end cutscene. So Dr. Monty, the Apothecans, Element 115, none of that was technically destroyed. It was just banished to the Dark Ether where it belongs. And so that stuff has been stewing in the Dark Ether for millennia. You know, you could say, oh, well, a lot of those things have evolved and changed into different things and they no longer exist. Like, yeah, of course, we did see, you know, 115 become Ethereum in Cold War, and, you know, the Margwa potentially became the Abomination. The Manglers are still kind of the Manglers, you know, but the Krasny Soldats, they're not Panzers anymore. They're different things, right? You know, with the reintroduction of Element 115 into the storyline, not only in Black Ops, but also in Modern Warfare Zombies, like, that really opens the door for the rest of this stuff to come back, because in the original story, 115 couldn't technically exist without the Apothicans. You know, the Apothicans sent 115 to Earth, hoping that humans would wage war and open a gateway for them to escape the Dark Ether. And it seems like, and I've been speculating this since they first popped up in the MWZ Season 3 mid update, I don't know when it was, but there was like Element 115 rocks that you can interact with, and it would play an instrumental version of 115. I've been speculating since then that, hey, the Apothicans might still be out there, because with 115 technically existing alongside Ethereum now, they could still be lurking, trying to get out. And who controls, you know, the Apothicans, or who could be out for revenge? None other than Dr. Monty. Now, again, a lot of people might be upset with the way that, you know, things come to pass and they want to see those characters stay dead. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't really care if these people come back. Like, I think it would make for a pretty interesting story. Yeah, you would need to have some elite writing to kind of pigeonhole everything in here and make it make sense, so that, especially if you're bringing back older versions of the Primis, you know, a new version of Primis and Ultimus back, you're going to have to really, you know, cross your T's and dot your I's to make sure that there's no loopholes with, well, you know, this technically shouldn't have happened or they died there. But it just seems like a lot of what happened at the end of Dr. Toten wasn't like technically retconned, but they were like almost pushing it off down the road to now, you know. And you could say, well, no, there's no way. But I mean, just the way that, you know, things have unfolded after Cold War inside of MWZ and the Dark Ether storyline, and now Black Ops 6, like, you know, one of the major things coming back was 115, and people were like, oh, how does this even exist? Or maybe it's just a callback or whatever. But, like, I don't think that they would, you know, heavily promote 115 as a camo, as a pre-order bonus for Black Ops 6. Like, they did a ton of 115 marketing and promotional little Easter eggs when they were teasing Black Ops 6 Zombies over the summer. And, like, I just don't think that they would do that to be like, oh, you know, it's haha, we're teasing the return of round-based. Like, Treyarch's very calculated when they do things like that. And I just don't think that they tease that kind of information, or that sort of a big bombshell storyline informational drop like that, if they weren't planning to use it. It seems like this is kind of where they've been heading for the past couple of years now. And again, like I said, I don't really know what to make of it. I know some people are going to be like, yes, we're getting the, you know, we might be getting the guys back together. We might be getting the OG4. And, you know, the other subsector of the community is going to be like, that just completely diminishes Dr. Toten and everything that was sacrificed, you know, at the end of the multiverse and all this stuff. But again, I'm like somewhere in the middle of like, I don't know, you know, I just don't think that Call of Duty Zombies will ever reach a peak storyline-wise. I think that it could definitely peak gameplay-wise, especially with how good Black Ops 6 is, but I don't think it could ever reach a peak storyline and narrative-wise without those characters, because so many casual fans grew up loving them, and, you know, just now that they're not there, a lot of people can't get invested into the storyline. And I'm not saying that's not me, you know, and for a lot of you out there, that's probably not you either. You know, you're probably very interested in the Dark Ether storyline, especially now that they have chaos elements coming back. But, you know, for a lot of those casual like people, like a lot of my IRL friends, they just aren't interested in the story because, you know, their beloved characters that they grew up with aren't there. They're not back. So again, I don't really know what to make with this information. I'm just giving you what's on the table here in this article. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. But before we end the video, it also goes into detail that sources also collaborated the recent Zombies leak that also originated from such playtests and feedback sessions. Sources said that the main Zombies map will be Tranzit inspired with some sort of travel system to navigate around the map. One source who was part of such playtest also revealed that there was a plan to have 6 total Zombies maps throughout the lifecycle of COD 2025, but whether the game scopes have changed is unclear. And again, they don't know if things have changed, their plans have changed, because originally we were supposed to get Outbreak, now people are saying it's all round-based. But guys, I mean, if Transit comes back like this, obviously it won't be like OG Transit, maybe it'll be Dark Ether inspired, or maybe it'll be, you know, just a massive version scale of Transit. Man, there's just so much information here, you don't know what to make of it, but it just sounds so good. And before Black Ops 6 came out, you could sit there and say, oh, well, it's too good to be true, or it's all just fanfic or whatever, but with how good Black Ops 6 has been, and with how much of that information that was originally leaked and we didn't know about, like gobblegums and stuff, you know, didn't think that we were going to ever see those again, and now they're back, it's like, you never know, like, right? You never know, especially with Chaos. And that's the thing I keep harping on is, like, you know, you can sit there and say, oh, well, you know, they're dead and blah, blah, blah. But, like, dude, Chaos is now relevant in the Dark Ether storyline. I mean, anything is on the table for these maps. But in terms of Transit, like I think it would be awesome to see like a larger scaled version of Transit. And to back that point up again, like we've seen them testing Transit-like elements for a while now. I mean, the jet gun is literally in Liberty Falls. Liberty Falls could have been made in order to not only tease the return of something like that, but also work on the jet gun model, make it, perfect it, make sure it's good to go for next year if they were going to do a Transit 2.0. I mean, for Christ's sake, literally 6 Prestige is TED. Like, the whole icon for 6 Prestige is TED. You also get a TED emblem for hitting 6th Prestige. So it's like, so much of, and I know like it's just it's a callback and it's harping back to older games, but now with all this recent information that's come out and all the things that are coming back and everything is just like kind of coming together here very slowly, but it seems like most of this information could possibly at least have some weight to it. But again, just at the end of the article here, it says it's worth stressing that these playtest events usually happen with some variations and details in order to gain valued feedback and potentially pinpoint the origin of leaks. However, from what we've been able to determine, the information has been at various different feedback events worldwide over the past 12 months or so, suggesting that the information is almost certainly accurate, but never safe to say that it is. And again, guys, just let me know what your guys' thoughts on this stuff in the comments below. I don't know what to make of this. I'm kind of hyped for this. Like, honestly, like I would enjoy a big plot twist like this, and I think it would be certainly something that a lot of other people would like to see, but I know there is a big subset of people out there that, maybe don't want to see this happen. So again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Stay safe. Peace.